when the explosive went off while they were playing with it at the La Beach. There's more in the following report.
The loud sound was heard by everyone in and around the community. The time was 11 a.m., 4th August 2020.
I hear the thing, as the thing blast, as a explosion. So who just shot the gun like that? Where my master told you it's not a gun, but here there's a carpenter is knocking something for inside. What is not
each person had their interpretation of what it meant.
The only thing I heard was like, boom! I was like, Lord of His mercy, what is happening?
Kofi Amwako, a mason returning from Osu, rushed to the scene.
It was bad. There was blood oozing from different body parts of these kids. The 7-year-old was the worst hit. Even in the hospital, they had to remove a lot of pellets from his back.
7 years boy already. Oh no, I'm not going to tell you. I didn't even want to cheat. The thing you say. I make catch it up.
Where the emoji to
Uko Adams is the father of all 4 children, 1 boy, 4 girls, with ages between 5 and 12. The pig farmer is grateful to God that all 4 children survived the blast.
They left the grenade while they saw smoke rising from it. Luckily, they threw it far away from them. If it got any inch closer, it would have killed them.
Residents are scared of what the explosion could mean for the community.
I have 2 wonderful kids. We love the ocean. We love to visit the ocean. I love to go there and do my medication and pray. What if I don't know and I step on something? All I want to say is, please, to whoever is listening to me, please, to the authorities, please, scan around and find out what is really happening in Salabadi.
My concern, they should go inside the matter. I get to know the people who have a train over there, how they manage before dodge the bomb over there. After that, we get to know that they get another bomb too over there. So still, we are afraid about the area.
They have lots of questions for the authorities. Witnesses say the military visited La last week and discovered even more grenades.
They find one of the bomb over there and the other one too. So the bomb
here.
Yeah.
Can you show us which side?
This place and where the bushes, and they find one at where the gutter is.
So all in all, how many bombs were those?
There was 5 over here and 1 over there, and there was 1, 2 over here, so 7.
As they said, they come and find another bomb here.
How many military men did you notice?
Actually, the counts are coming. We can't count them.
There were several.
There are several. We can't
if you give an estimate, how many will you say? If you have to estimate, say about how much?
You can because we are there. We are working.
The children's injuries mean more hospital bills for a father who is now struggling to put food on the table.
I must need the general public to help me out. I'm truly in a sad situation. He now has medical issues with his leg.
And 1 year can say,
oh, Sika must say, because any papa could must say 12 million. We Sika must say 12 million.
PSN and IL report that, well, in reaction to this, the police is asking that children be discouraged from handling unfamiliar objects. And they're also asking you to report of any unfamiliar object you sight. Well, what exactly is this device that exploded? Well, we've been joined by head of the Public Affairs Unit of the Accra Region Police Command, DSP Ifya Tingi. Thank you very much for your time this morning, DSP. Has the police been able to establish the make of this device?
Yes, thank you very much. Since the report of the incident that is on the 5th to the police had to lead a team of investigators together with experts from the Ghana Armed Forces to the scene. And so it was established that it was a grenade. And we don't know how the object got on the shore of the La Beach. as such, we are conducting investigations into it to ascertain how they got there. So that is why we are cautioning the general public. I think these education, we have done them in the past, we continue to do so. And so for the sake of public safety and for the need to remind all of us that this campaign we used to do in the past, let us still continue. That if we still see any object that we don't know how those objects got to where we are or where we are sighting them, it would be very good that we draw the attention of the police through our emergency line rather than handling them or touching them in any way that would end up injuring us.
Now, residents are calling for a thorough scan of their community. Has that been done?
It's calling for
a thorough scan. They are asking that the police come with devices that can detect these explosives.
Yes, in my narration, I indicated that right from the report of the incident, we had to go to the scene with experts from the Criminal Investigations Department and also experts from the ammunition disposal unit of the Ghana Armed Forces to do all the scanning.
All right. I'm asking beyond the scene. They're asking for a wider, scan in the community, in the entire community. And I'm asking if that has been done.
The authority and the experts in whose work it is to find out whether these objects could be found in any part of the community. If they think that there's a need for them to do so, I believe that for the purpose of public safety, they will do so. But for now, that is the information I have that they have done so, yes. But I don't know if they are going to extend it to the wider community.
All right, so beyond the education and the earlier scan that was done when this issue was reported, is there anything more being done to secure the area and pick up intel on the existence of such devices, if there are any?
Yes, and that is part of the investigative processes I have indicated, that in everything we need to do due diligence, we need to investigate thoroughly, we need to find out how they got there, because we have known that our shores have been very safe and that people go there merrymaking and all that. So if we are seeing something like this, it means that it calls for a broader interrogation or a broader investigation to find out whether indeed something is happening that we're not aware of. So all these are parts of the investigative processes, and I believe that the experts who are well endowed with the knowledge in this area are doing so for our safety. That is how come we also believe that we should extend it to inform everybody to also be wary of such items in order not to compromise our safety.
Finally, DSP, you've put out your numbers in your statement you released. Persons are supposed to call 112-191 or 18555 if they see any device that you're not sure of. But what exactly should they be on the lookout for, since some of these things most of the time may actually be hidden or embedded in areas where they may be difficult to sight?
Exactly. For explosive materials or anything that can cause explosion, whether improvised explosive devices, whatever it is, it will be very difficult for anybody to determine just by looking at it and saying that this is an explosive device. That is why we continue to say, mostly if the item is strange, you do not know what it is not yours, we advise that we do not touch them. Sometimes people may not touch, but we see that people have developed the habit over the years by walking and even kicking items they come by. And these can also be very dangerous and harmful to all of us. So if we find any item, it could be anything at all. It could come in any other way or form. Whatever it is, when the thing looks strange, you do not know what it is, we will advise, the general caution is do not touch, do not get closer. If possible, if you can even go further from the object, I think that is advisable. And immediately, rather, draw the attention of the police. I think this conversation was very pronounced in the area when we used to talk about terrorism and what have you. But for now, we do not talk about them anymore. But it is very important that we continue to talk about them so that people are well informed, they are aware, and know what to do in such cases. So it is all about staying away from objects that you do not know at all. It can come in so many forms. For that one, we can also, the numbers we can go on and on and on and mention the objects within which these sometimes improvised explosive devices may come. Okay. But what we need to do is to be cautious.
DSP, sorry to cut in. Sure, sorry to cut in, but just permit me for one more question. We heard from the father of these children who were injured, and he's appealing for funds because he's used all he has to cater for their bills. In instances like this, who is responsible for catering for or footing the bills of persons in such accidents?
Yes, in fact, in so many instances when issues like this come to us, sometimes we refer or write to the police hospital where the medical director will support us when we realize that the family are unable to take care of the medical bills and what have you. So in the past, we have done so by liaising with the medical board, that is of the police hospital, to assist in diverse ways, and that have been possible. And I remember one of them that was in quite critical conditions that was sent to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I believe that is where the bills were coming from. But I know that they were taken to the police hospital, and sometimes like this, we also try to take the bills on our part.
All right. Thank you very much for your time this morning. DSP Efiatenge is Head of Public Affairs of the Accra Regional Police Command, giving us some updates on that incident that occurred some days ago. We've been joined by the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, Nanaya Akwada. Thank you so much for your time. With what we are hearing from what happened at La, do we as a people really have an understanding of how to stay safe, especially when dealing with strange objects, as the police is advising?
Well, good morning to your viewers. If you mention we as a people, whether we have an understanding, I think that we have very limited understanding as far as procedures of engaging law enforcement over devices, if you like, that are not familiar with us, or devices that are lying in idle places or places that are unusual. Over time, we as a people have not or are yet to cultivate that habit of engaging law enforcement on issues like this. And you agree with me that this is also due to the fact that over a long period of time, we have not found our law enforcement responsive enough. And so instead of engaging them when come across spectacles such as these, we would rather move on. I believe that for the citizens to be confident in engaging law enforcement over some of these things, that we've had several campaigns. If you see something, say something, call emergency numbers and so on. We will need the police service, or if you like, law enforcement agencies, to be a bit more responsive than they have been in the past.
So, Nanaya, you work with the Bureau of Public Safety. Have you had any reports of such incidents? Does this come as a novelty to you, what we're experiencing with this explosion?
Well, in terms of explosion, we are coming up with the first half report on public safety and crime as we've monitored from January to date. At least when it comes to explosions, we are observing that there is an increasing trend between the same period last year, January to June, as against January to June this year. In the number of incidents, there's been a marginal reduction, but the casualties have risen. And I think that part of a country's efforts to reducing preventable deaths or what we call accidental deaths, explosions cannot be ruled out. while we want to commend the police, of course, it's been a couple of days since this occurred. Our understanding indicates for making it public anyway, and for issuing statements to that effect. The disclosure on your show this morning that these were grenades is, I wouldn't say refreshing. As far as the thirst for information is concerned, it's refreshing, but it gets scarier when you look at the broader picture in terms of public safety and security. You will observe that for an African nation going into an elections and formats, if you start discovering explosive devices, military-grade explosive devices. These are not improvised explosive devices or homemade explosive devices, but these are military-grade explosive devices. At your shores, you should be concerned. And that's what we are seeking to see, or get the police to act, or the defense ministry to trigger its protocols. From where we say we would want to see, say, that particular spot by now should have been sworn by our bomb experts, up to a certain radius, should be cordoned off for thorough scanning the area. Right. We should understand which vessels have operated in a certain, radius, kilometers or nautical miles away offshore. We should know.
Nanaya Akwada there, he is Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, sharing his thoughts on what has happened at La. We are really grateful for your time this morning, Nanaya Akwada. Well, away from that, but still on the police, the CID says it's on the hunt for a number of persons it believes are members of a syndicate, leaking people's nude photos and videos and then blackmailing them. On Friday, investigators